when you learn how to sustain high vibrations, three things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to start to manifest your soul's purpose more deeply. Number two, you're going to start to manifest the things that you desire and deserve. And number three, you're going to be able to heal on a deeper level. So in this video, let's talk about the traits of highly vibrational people. But before we begin, why are high vibrations all the rage? Well, the reason high vibrations are all the rage is because vibration is magnetic, and you hold your vibrations in your auric field, which is otherwise known as your consciousness body. And this is important because consciousness creates. So the vibrations in your auric field or consciousness body are creating your life experience. Remember, you don't create your reality. You create your life experience inside a much larger co-created reality. So be very mindful of teachers and gurus that are telling you that you create your reality. You don't, because if you did, you probably would not have created a major world sickness that we experienced a couple of years ago where we had to wear masks on our face and stay indoors. You probably also wouldn't create a reality where gas prices were $4, $5, $6 a gallon. So you create your experience in a much larger co-created reality, but you do have tremendous influence over your reality. And the way you have influence over your reality is through your vibration. So when you're vibrating a really low frequency, what you can expect is a really low outcome of your life experience. So this would be an outcome like lack, limitation, sickness, disease. These are all things that resonate at a very low level. Now, at a much higher level, we experience things like willingness and reason to overcome lower vibrations. And the highest tippy top level of vibrations, we experience things like peace, love, joy, and infinite abundance. So if you want to resonate in peace, love, and joy, and infinite abundance, make sure you stay until the end of this video, because I'm going to share with you one of my secrets for sustaining higher vibrations over time. In the meantime, let's dive in and talk about some traits that high vibrational people have and that you can develop. The first trait is that they can deliberately cultivate inner peace and calm. A lot of us go around our days sort of frenetic or frantic or just sort of wiry is what I see it as an energy healer. So when someone comes to me, I can see their energy, and if it's really wiry, it's almost like touching one of those balls where there's like a magnet and all that energy goes like that. You don't want that in your auric field. You want to be able to cultivate a sense of inner peace and calm, because this gives you an equilibrium of balance and harmony. And the reason balance and harmony are important in the inner world is because the universe thrives on balance and harmony. So your objective is to cultivate that inner peace and harmony over time so that you naturally exude it even in stressful situations. So obviously a couple of ways of doing that would be to develop mindfulness, use meditation, breath work, but I found that the most powerful way to cultivate inner peace and calm is to master the art of response. As opposed to reacting to your life experience, you want to learn how to respond in a way that directs your vibration so that it maintains a higher level, and ultimately it is the co-creative force that helps drive the best outcome or for the highest good of all that are in the situation. The more you can do that, the more you will stay calm, even in the most strenuous situations, and the more you'll be able to maintain those high vibes over time. The second trait of high vibrational people is optimism and positivity. And I know that sounds sort of obvious, but the truth is they are very optimistic and positive people, and most people are not optimistic and positive. In fact, you hear one thing in the news and your optimism can go into the tank. So we want to be able to practice optimism and positivity on a regular basis. And sometimes that's a stretch. And the second trait is optimism and positivity. And that might sound obvious, but you would be surprised how many people have a really hard time staying optimistic and positive, especially in our ever-changing turbulent, and somewhat questionable times. So in order to cultivate optimism and positivity, you have to change your obstacles into opportunities and problems into possibilities. And that's really important. Say that with me. I commit to changing my obstacles into opportunities and my problems into possibilities. So let me give you a personal example. After my husband died, clearly I was in a very deep state of grief. And over time, along my healing journey, I really wanted a partner. But throughout that healing journey, I didn't know how that was going to happen. Now, the obstacle was obviously I'm alone, I'm lonely, I'm a widow. People kind of perceive me as having a lot of baggage. And the problem is that I didn't know how to get out there and meet someone. So I changed that for myself. I decided that through my healing journey, the obstacle became an opportunity because I had matured a lot along that healing journey. So the opportunity now was to have an even greater experience in romantic love than I had ever had before. Even though I worship my late husband, I turned it into an opportunity to have and engage in a more expansive love. And when I turned that into an opportunity, the possibility of meeting someone potentially different than my late husband, but with many similar wonderful qualities came into play. And the more I interacted with the opportunity and the possibility, the faster I met my current husband, who I absolutely adore and I am so blessed to have. The third trait of high vibrational people is empathy and compassion. Now, this is often overlooked, but being in a state of empathy and compassion is an instant vibe raiser. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're walking down the street and you hear someone scream and you see their dog running into traffic, and you are the hero. You dive into the middle of that traffic, you scoop up the dog, and you deliver back the dog to its owner safe. You did that out of empathy and compassion. And that made you feel like $1 million. It made you feel so good inside. Well, those feelings, those good feelings, are the biochemical feedback of your vibration. So you know that when you feel really, really good, you're vibrating higher. So if you can get yourself into a place of empathy and compassion on a regular basis, not just for other people and the world around you, but also for yourself and your soul's journey, which can be very trying, but also very miraculous and beautiful at the same time, you will start to raise your vibration and sustain those higher vibrations over time. The fourth trait is intuition and spiritual awareness. Now, this is interesting because intuition and spiritual awareness are actually a result of vibrating higher over time, because vibration is directly correlated to consciousness, and consciousness is awareness. So when you vibrate higher, what ends up happening is the container of consciousness opens. And when the container of consciousness opens, you're able to perceive more potential, more possibility, and all of the wonderful messages, lessons, and gifts that the universe has to offer. So high vibrational people tend to be able to tap into universal messages. Some of them learn to channel, some of them discover their spirit guides, some of them are able to contact ancestors or lost loved ones. So really tapping into you and your spiritual nature, your divine nature, is a really important thing. Now, if you need help with this, there is a free download in the link in the description of this video below if you're watching this on YouTube. Oh yes, Understanding and Embracing Your I Am Presence. It's a workbook to help you discover your spiritual self and how your spiritual and physical self are really an alchemical union that is meant for the soul's journey in order to help it expand. Fifth trait of high vibrational people, you already know that it's gratitude and appreciation. Remember, appreciation appreciates. So when we appreciate things in our life, it sends a signal out into the universe that we are available and ready for more. Being in gratitude and giving thanks for even the smallest things in our lives tends to help us attract things that we didn't even dream possible. Now, something to keep in mind about gratitude and appreciation is that these aren't just one-off exercise like journaling on gratitude every morning. It really has to be a physiological state of appreciation, meaning you can feel your heart center grow for whatever it is you're appreciating. And you don't even necessarily have to appreciate a thing. You can just appreciate life. You may be a lover of God or your dog or your chair that you just bought from France. It doesn't matter. It can be inanimate, it can be animate, it can be spiritual, it can be material. As long as you can reach a physiological, expanded state of love and appreciation for that which you're expressing gratitude, then you're achieving those higher vibrations that are ultimately going to help you to sustain those vibrations over time. The sixth trait of high vibrational people is resilience and adaptability. These people are highly emotionally intelligent. They don't necessarily need things to go the way they planned because they are the ultimate alchemists. They know that whatever they encounter can be worked with. They know that they're always working with frequency and everything can be figured out as long as they maintain those high vibrations and they remain in that expanded state of consciousness where they can witness and observe all of the potential and possibility in order to shift a situation toward their favor and also toward the highest outcome of all. Now, what's the secret to maintaining those high vibrations? Well, interestingly enough, the secret to maintaining high vibrations is to let the low vibrations flow. You really want to become aware of the low vibration. And remember, vibration corresponds with consciousness. Consciousness is energy, and energy is information. So when those low vibrations come through or run through the consciousness body, that's information telling you something about your level of consciousness. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, I know that my level of consciousness is low or contracted when I feel low vibes. So what do I do about it? Well, what you do about it is you become the witness and the observer of the low vibrations. And if you haven't seen my video on the art of surrender, I'll link it in the description of the video below because it's a good one. It's an old one, but it's still a good one. When we surrender to our low vibrations, what ends up happening is we can take the high self position and discern what the low vibrations are telling us. Again, I'll give you a personal example. When I was grieving from narcissistic abuse and feeling grief, remorse, regret, shame, when I started to sit with those emotions, what I saw was that what I really was feeling was a deep sense of being alone and thus lonely, as if I wasn't fit to be with someone else because the universe had taken away so many people out of my life, not just the people that I lost in terms of to death, like my husband and my brother, but also the people that I lost who I exonerated from my life because they were horrible people in my life. But still, losing all of those people, especially in a very short period of time, put me into grief, remorse, regret, shame, general confusion, and dis-ease, all of which signify very low vibrations. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized was that all of those feelings were just a result of fear of being alone. I was overcompensating with those feelings because I was scared of being alone. And so the more I sat with that, the more I was able to discern, well, if you fear being alone, then you have to learn how to be alone in a productive way that helps you to expand. So the more I observed the loneliness, the more comfortable I became with being alone. And the more comfortable I became with being alone, the more I learned about the many wonderful attributes I had to give to the world, especially in my relationships. And that ended up helping me to connect with much more beautiful, expansive relationships that helped me to co-create my life experience, but also helped me to maintain those really high vibrations. Also keep in mind that those low vibes largely come from the ego. And if you don't understand the ego, then you may be interested in this video.